Hello, folks. You have now been pulled into the black dimension. I am your host, the Roger Report. I'm hosting today's show, and today should be a good show. Y'all know we like to deal in things, all things in entertainment, movies, television shows, and a little bit of sports. And today we're going to do the first edition of the NBA's 75 greatest players. Now, the NBA has released a list of their 75 greatest players. They do this every 25 years. So I didn't know about the 25 greatest players, but I guess I was just too young to catch that. But I do know about the 50 greatest players that came out um, 25 years ago. um, wow, had time has wow how time flies. Time flies. But the greatest player list was not ranked, of course, and a lot of stuff is up for debate when you start talking about the greatest player list. All right, a lot of folks, it's up for debate at the end of the day. Now, since it is up for debate, I'm gonna do the best I can to say where these greatest players fit. Okay, and today we're gonna start off with the first 10. Right? And the first 10, and they were listed in alphabetical order for those who do not know. They were listed in alphabetical order, and there was some very interesting names that come up in the first 10. Now, the first name that comes up on this list is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And if you are a little unfamiliar with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, this is a highly accomplished man in the NBA. Okay, and I did take a little bit of time to get some of the facts and figures, as they say, on some of these players. So, so you guys can get kind of an idea of how I'm looking at things. All right. Now, when it comes out to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, man, he did a lot, y'all. Man, he did a lot. Now, he is the NBA player right now. He still actually has the most points scored in the NBA over a career. It's still him. Okay, it's still him. So you know he's done a lot. Now, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a rookie of the year. All right. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he averaged 24.6 points a game over a career, 11.2 rebounds over a career, 3.6 assists, 2.6 steals, which was a little surprising to me, and zero point 0.9 blocks per game. Now, the NBA didn't even count all the blocks that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did because the blocks came in after he had already started his career. But again, he was a rookie of the year. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won championships. He actually won 6 championships, one with the Milwaukee Bucks and five with the LA Lakers. So he's a very decorated individual, and he's a 6-time league MVP. All right. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar also is a 2-time Finals MVP. So yeah, he got his team there, and not only did he get his team there, he got the job done when he got there. He was one of the main reasons that the job got done when he got there. So the man been putting in work. He put in work for a very long period of time. Now, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar also was a 15-time All NBA player and an 11-time All Defensive player. So Kareem was doing the job the whole time. His whole career, he was putting in work. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar actually has 19 All-Star appearances in his 20-year NBA career. So he only missed the All-Star game one time. So he was the first person on the list because the list does go by alphabetical order. And all right, you know what? Shout out to Black Uru Strikes who just made me notice that I switched up the blocks and the steals. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar averaged 2.6 blocks a game and zero point 0.9 steals per game. Okay. 0.9 steals per game, 2.6 blocks per game. So my apologies, folks. My apologies. So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the first player on the list, and if you ask me, this man is super solid, and he's gonna be without a doubt well, at least in my opinion, right now, he's gonna be the best player on this list for a while. I'm gonna say a while because we all know there's going to be an argument that can be made for a better player in the NBA. Now, so I'm giving Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the one spot for now. Now, the second player listed was Ray Allen. Okay, Ray Allen did a great job in the NBA. People probably saw that Steph Curry just recently broke his record for the most 3-pointers ever made in the NBA. Now Steph Curry has 2,974 that actually broke the record. I mean, he has more, but 2,974 broke the record. So Ray Allen held on to that record for a while. Now his career averages 18.9 points a game, 4.1 rebounds a game, 3.4 assists, 1.1 steals a game, and uh 0.2 blocks per game. Now, Ray Allen did actually win 2 NBA championships. He didn't get a lot of other awards, but I can kind of understand why. He was playing behind Michael Jordan. It's hard to get certain things to happen right when you're a shooting guard playing behind Michael Jordan. So when I look at the careers of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, then I look at the careers of Ray Allen. When you compare those two, to me, it's obvious that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is going to go first. Okay, he's definitely going to be first at this particular time. Okay, um, so I don't think that's going to warrant much of an argument there. All right. Now, the third player listed is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, Giannis Antetokounmpo is definitely doing a great job in the NBA. He's still active in the NBA at this particular time, but they put him on the list. So we got to compare what he's done so far in his career. But of course, over time, this can kind of change because he's still building his resume. All right. Now, he's building his resume right now, and so far he already has, well, he's averaging 21.2 points a game, 9.2 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists per game, 1.3 blocks per game, and 1.2 steals per game. And he actually has a championship ring. Okay. And not only does he have a championship ring, he's got a finals MVP. He's got 2 regular season MVPs, 2 defensive players of the years, and he's a 4-time all NBA player and a 4-time all defensive player. Looking at this information, I had to go with, I'm still looking at Kareem being first. Ray Allen's gonna move to third, and I had to take Giannis Antetokounmpo and put him in the number 2 spot. Okay. Uh, again, I think Kareem is gonna be untouched for a while. Okay, and that's just the way it's gonna go. So I'm going with Giannis Antetokounmpo at third right now, comparing him to those two. All right. Now the list, and again, this list is done in alphabetical order. So I'm taking the alphabetical order and then measuring them against each other. Now, the next person up was Carmelo Anthony. And Carmelo Anthony has put a solid career together. It's not as impressive as some of the folks mentioned, of course. You know, I think he's doing a solid job. And honestly, I thought Carmelo Anthony would be better than LeBron James, y'all. I remember when he first started his career, I thought he was a better player than LeBron James. And I actually thought that even throughout his first year, I thought, in my opinion, he should have got Rookie of the Year. I thought he should have got Rookie of the Year, but you know, the powers that be didn't agree with me. But I thought he even should have got Rookie of the Year. Now, his career has been great for an NBA player. His career has been great. He's managed to get 10 All-Star appearances. but not much else. Not much else. And when it comes to those, when it comes to the people, when you start talking about the greats, you got to start putting up something. It's great that you got into the NBA. That's a beautiful thing. Okay. It's great that you got some all-star appearances, which is also a great thing. But at some point in time, you got to do something a little bit more than that. It's great that you showed up. It's great that you did your job. Now, I do believe in professional sports, the whole point of it is winning. And if you don't win, you haven't done much as a professional, in my opinion. You just haven't done much as a professional. So the fact that Carmelo Anthony is a little bit disappointing in other areas. I mean, 10 All-Star appearances is good. Yeah, that means he was doing great for the competition he was playing against, but he really didn't get much else done. He really just didn't. So to me, it was easy that Kareem would go above him. Giannis Antetokounmpo would still be second. Now, the thing is, when you compare Anthony against Allen, okay, when you compare Anthony against Allen, who do you really give the who do you give the nudge to? Similar careers, to a certain degree. But I mean, Carmelo's averaging a little bit better. They both got 10 All-Star appearances. Didn't really do much else. But Ray Allen actually has 2 rings. So I'm gonna give the edge on this one to Ray Allen because to me, winning counts. Okay, winning counts. So he got the 2 rings. Carmelo did not get the two rings. So I don't see why I should really regard Carmelo Anthony as better than Ray Allen. He averaged a little bit more as far as points goes, rebound goes. I mean, Ray Allen played the 2 guard while Carmelo Anthony played the 3. You should get a couple more rebounds here or there, but I'm not going give too much sway based on positions that you were playing. You either performed or you didn't. Because this is professional sports, y'all. This ain't little league. This ain't high school. This ain't even college. This is professional. So at the NBA level, Ray Allen got some rings. Now, he wasn't the main reason that he won the rings. Well, yeah, he wasn't the main reason. He wasn't the finals MVP or anything like that, but he did win. And if you don't win, how great are you at the end of the day? Now, he's great for other NBA players, but it's hard for me to say you're that great if you didn't get any wins. And shout out to Black Uru Strikes who who says Melo is better individually. Okay, he said Melo's better individually than Ray. Melo gets a Melo gets Melo gets a bump rap, a bum rap. Now he may get a bum rap, a Black Uru, but over a career, can I really give him credit when he didn't get the job done? I like Melo. Again, I argued that he should have won Rookie of the Year. I thought he was I'm not gonna say a much better player than LeBron when they first started their careers, but I did think he was actually better than LeBron. I used to have arguments about this. I remember specific arguments on the train going into downtown about who was better. Melo, great player, but he don't win. So I would consider him at a different position, but he didn't win. So I'm gonna have to just, unfortunately for for Anthony, if I'm putting a team together, okay, what do I want to do at the end of the day? I want to win. All right, Black Uru's coming up. Black Uru's coming up. How you doing, Black Uru?
Hey, how you do, Roger?
Doing very well.
I think Melo gets a bum rap. Uh, you know, Kobe said that the toughest player he ever consistently played against was Carmelo Anthony. And if you look at the way Carmelo Anthony, for most of his career, had the most complete offensive game in basketball next to Kobe. Next to Kobe. When you look at his all around game, he had a classic offensive game. He had a throwback, really offensive game. It was reminiscent of your players from the 80s and the 90s. I think Carmelo, and I think had he not had Carl, I think if he had had a better coach in Denver when he had who later who won the championship in Detroit. Uh, Damn, the guard, the coach of the Trailblazers now, Chauncey Billups. Denver had a fantastic team. Carl fucked that team up. Now, obviously, they would have had to have beat the Lakers to have won in the, I guess, the late 2000s or somewhere around that time. But I think they would have had a chance with a better coach. I think, and I think what also hurt Melo was when he went to New York, they had to loot that team in order for him to go to New York. Now you can blame him for going to New York in such a way in which he was not going to have the supporting players in order to really be able to compete. But let's talk about what fully happened then. Well, LeBron loaded the deck up in Miami, right? So when he went to New York, he had to go up against 3 Hall of Famers in Miami, and then the Bulls were coming on with Derrick Rose, and they had a good team. So I just think when you look at Melo's career, first of all, I think I would if I were drafting, I would definitely draft Melo over Ray Allen. I mean, not even a question, right? And I think Ray Allen, had they not made that deal to bring him to Boston, I don't think, and then they brought in Kevin Garnett. I don't think anybody's talking about Ray Allen being a better player than Carmelo Anthony. Not at all.
And you know what? I honestly do believe that Carmelo was a great player, but how much do we account for winning at the end of the day? Because it means something, doesn't it?
Well,
And, and
but now, if you're telling me that Ray Allen was, let's say, the number one guy on the championship team, then I think you got a different argument. But he was at best the third, and you could argue the fourth best player on that Boston team because Rondo ran that team. You could argue that Rondo was more, and certainly Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce were better, more valuable to that team than Ray Allen. And I think it's a toss-up between him and Rondo, frankly. So he wasn't the best. He wasn't nearly the best player on that Boston team. He certainly wasn't the best player on that Miami team that won. So I mean, it's kind of like saying not as much, but it's kind of like saying was Robert Horry better than Michael Jordan because Robert Horry has 7 rings and Michael Jordan has 6 rings. I mean, I think you got to put, in my view, you got to put those rings in the context of were you the first or second best player on that team? If you're not the first or second best player on a championship team, then I'm looking at those rings different.
Oh, okay, and you know what? I do respect that. So you know what? I'm gonna give Carmelo the edge. We gonna officially make him there because as we continue to go throughout this series, these spaces ain't gonna change. So since you came and made your argument about it, we gonna stick them there, and we go with Ray Allen at fourth. But we're gonna continue to compare people based off how they came off this alphabetical list. Now I'm pretty sure we all know who's gonna hit the top, but there will be some people who'll be able to argue a position that Kareem will stay at the top because I believe Kareem is going to stay when I look at these other people's careers. And I went to look at these facts and figures so we can have a better idea of what was going on. But there were some people who were here to enjoy the eye test, which we could, play. People like myself didn't get to see everybody from the eye test. Now, the next player up, we got Nate Archibald. Now, for him, they gave him he averaged 18.8 points a game, 2.3 rebounds a game, but did average 7.4 assists a game. Only point 0.1 blocks, but had averaged 1.1 steals a game. He did win a ring. He was a three-time All NBA player, and he actually made it into six All-Star games. So I never really saw Nate Archibald play. So all I have ever seen, if any, is footage on him. Never seen him play. But when I'm looking at these numbers, and it's hard to put numbers up, and I'm looking at these awards people won, I'm considering the fact that he didn't just become an all-star. Carmelo Anthony got some all-star appearances, so did Ray Allen. But Nate Archibald was a three-time All NBA player. To me, that does speak to something. So,
And Nate Tiny Archibald is, I believe, the only player, I believe, the only player in NBA history to lead the league in both scoring and assists the same year. I believe he is. I
I
know
believe
he
you're
was
correct.
at some point, so I don't know. I don't think anybody has done it since he did it. But I think he's the only player in NBA history to lead the league in both scoring and assists. Tiny Archibald was a monster. Was super quick. You couldn't stay in front of Nate Archibald. You know, I mean, he just. I would say he was kind of like Isaiah Thomas before Isaiah Thomas. So
That's a
no, Nate is up
pretty high
there. Nate
compliment.
Nate is way up there.
Yeah, that's definitely a high compliment. That's for sure. Now, with those who are on the list so far, um, now to me, based on what he's been able to do, I don't really see Ray Allen and Carmelo Anthony really being above him because he got those. Now I didn't get to see the eye test, but he does got those three all NBA selections. Should he go above Carmelo do we have an argument that he's better than Giannis Antetokounmpo, who I mean, and this is just at this
Uh,
point because his career
I
ain't
would
over.
definitely put him over Ray Allen. Uh, Maybe a slight edge to him over Melo, maybe almost a toss up, but I would definitely put Giannis over. Giannis is going to be a top 10 player of all time, assuming he stays healthy. So I would definitely put Giannis over those three men
Yeah,
or four,
and
three or four.
and and I know he has something to do. So those who are listening, I'm not arguing about what people might do in the future. We arguing about where they are right now. Okay,
Well,
so
but I'm just saying. I mean, Giannis has two MVPs,
yeah, he do.
all defensive. He has a championship. I mean, right now, Giannis is more accomplished than those other three guys, frankly.
Oh, I agree. I could only really, what I'm saying, just off what I'm seeing right here, I only saw Nate coming ahead of Ray and Carmelo so far. Okay, now this was a gentleman that I've never seen play. Paul Ariza. Is if that's how you pronounce his name. Is that how you pronounce his name? Now,
Uh,
Paul was that?
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm assuming his name is pronounced Paul Ariza. Now, I didn't really know much about Paul Ariza. I had to do some looking, and he was an earlier player in the NBA, but he
Yeah.
did average 22.8 points a game. He had 8.6 rebounds a game, 2.3 assists a game. Now, at the time he played, they weren't even counting blocks and steals yet, so they weren't unavailable for me to really find out about that. Now, those are some pretty good accomplishments, if you ask me. And he did get a championship ring out of it as well. But I didn't see anything else as far as let me double check to make sure I didn't skip any awards that he should have been listed for. But I don't have anything listed as far as him winning awards. Now, did you ever get to see Paul a reason play?
I don't even remember much of anything about.
Yeah, because his impact was in the '60s.
Yeah, I don't.
And I don't know if you've seen old footage of him or anything like
Yeah.
that. you know. But I'm not discounting what I know. Some people are gonna say that well, you got players in different eras and things like that. But the way I look at it, you got to play against whoever else is there in your era. So people have these era arguments. My thing is, you accomplished what you had to accomplish when whoever was sent to deal with you at that particular time. So I'm not gonna hold it against somebody that he didn't necessarily win in the era that you think competition was tougher, because the greatness sticks out regardless of who the
Well, I
competition is.
mean, he would have been going against those. I mean, you're talking about those great Boston. So yeah, uh, it's a tough comparison. Um, that's tough. So, but I can't really offer much about him.
Well, I mean, that being the case now, and see, this is kind of slighted against him too. He didn't make any All-Star appearances, but how many All-Star games were they back then? Because um, I don't believe the NBA actually had an All-Star. I should have looked that up right before the show, but I don't believe the NBA even started off with an All-Star game the first year. I don't believe they had one. So it's hard for him to prove himself in that area. But you know what? I'm gonna have to just stick him at the bottom then, under Ray Allen. Why? Because I don't have record of him doing anything else. And if someone who was a little bit older wanted to make an argument for his position, yeah, we could have considered that, but they didn't show up to do that, so there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do in this particular situation. I'm gonna have to just give it to the other fellas to go right ahead. And as time goes on, things should get more interesting. But again, I'm not changing any of the positions once they are selected. Um, Now the next person up is going to be Charles Barkley. Okay, now we know Charles done had he done had Charles had a pretty good career, but he's not a winner at the end of the day. Not from a championship standpoint. He's not a winner. Now, as far as his stats, he for a career he averaged 22.1, 11.7 rebounds, 3.9 assists a game, 0.8 blocks a game, and 1.5 steals a game. His steals was up a little higher than I even expected him to be. Now he did win an MVP. He got 5 All NBA selections, and he got You know what? He got 11 All Star selections. You know what I think I did? I think I put Charles Barkley and Paul Ariza accomplishments together. Let me take something. Give me a moment. Pardon me, folks. Let me double check. Let me double check this real quick. Cause I got numbers listed twice on the Charles Barkley, so I think I put theirs together by mistake. And I don't want to shortchange Paul if he was making stuff happen out there. You know, I don't want the elders of the community think I'm doing doing folks wrong, because I ain't doing them wrong on purpose. That's for sure. Oh yeah, yeah. That it looks like that's what I did. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, it looks like Paul Ariza actually had 10 All-Star appearances and four All NBA selections and um a Rookie of the Year. Now that's saying something there. A Rookie of the Year, again, 4 All NBA selections, and he was a 10-time All-Star. You know, now that's saying he did something. So with the 10-time All-Star selection and the fact that he made 4 All NBAs, plus he did get an MVP. He better than I got to say. He should go over Carmelo Anthony and Ray Allen. You know, I can't really see him as I can't really see a reason for them to be looked at as better than him. I can't really see a reason for that. Now I don't think that beats Giannis though. I still don't see that as beating Giannis.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely, I would say Barkley. I would take Barkley over. Uh, yeah, definitely Ray Allen over Melo, over Tiny Archibald. Yeah, I have to get Giannis the nod over Barkley. Uh, Slightly though, slightly. Uh, I think Barkley is still one of the most remarkable players to have ever played in the NBA. When you see the things that he did at his size, and we're going to continue to look. I value winning championships, but you know, I saw him play in Philly with almost nobody. After Dr. J retired, they traded Moses Malone. Mo Cheeks got old, and eventually he left. So, I mean, I think if Barkley had gone to Phoenix earlier, he might have had a chance to get a ring off of the Bulls. I believe that with a healthy Suns team. In fact, I'll say this. I'll tell you this. This is the reason why Barkley don't have a ring. The main reason why Barkley does not have a ring is because Richard Dumas could not stay off that crack pipe. And if anybody knows anything about Richard Dumas, he was on that Suns team. He was a fantastic small forward. He actually played very well against the Bulls. I believe had Dumas stayed away from that crack pipe, I think Phoenix wins one of those two championships that Houston wins. I really believe that. So, and if you don't know look up Richard Dumas. He was a fantastic small forward. I remember him playing damn well against the Bulls in that 93 championship. He was giving Scotty that work.
Okay.
So I think Barkley gets a bad rap from the championship standpoint. I think Barkley himself said, you know, they were saying, well, he doesn't make players better like Larry Bird. And Barkley's response was, well, who do you think is easy to make better? You know, Kevin McHale or Mike Jaminski. And Barkley was right. He did not have, when he was in Philly, later part of Philly, he did not have the complement of players to really compete. I remember him getting dogged by the Bulls in large part because he was going against Mike and Scotty. He couldn't beat Mike and Scotty. So I'm empathetic to Barkley. I think Barkley was a fantastic player and very versatile player. Barkley, easily one of the top 3 power forwards to ever play in basketball, in my opinion. Well, I don't know. With Giannis, I don't know. Maybe that kind of changes the mix a little bit. Okay, but I think he's at least 3rd or 4th best power forward ever.
Okay, so then we have, and you know, I got someone backstage. Just hold on for me, the gentleman who's backstage. Hold on for me. I got to check something out, and because we not gonna have trolls up here. We're not gonna have trolls. So just give it a moment, okay? So we got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the top guy so far. Giannis Antetokounmpo right behind him. Now we got Nate Archibald and then Carmelo, then Ray Allen. So you want to?
I'm putting Barkley after. I'm putting Barkley after Giannis. That's who I would pick. Now I know you're using the championship thing. I'm saying, man for man, Charles Barkley was better than Nate Archibald, Melo, he was better.
Okay, I mean, I'm just saying that he got 3 All NBA. He was 3 All. He was
I don't.
a 3-time
I mean,
All
to me,
NBA
that all
selection.
NBA. Well, he played in his entire career. He played in a league with Carmelo. You know, so I mean, when you judging those all NBAs, you know, that to me that's an interesting thing. He played in a league with in his prime with Carmelo, Kevin McHale, all these guys like top 5, top 10 during their time, top 5 power forwards all time.
All
You
right.
know, so comparing Charles Barkley in the 80s and 90s, you know, in his position, very different than who's the best power forward now. You know, it's a
I mean,
whole different kind of thing.
honestly, I like Charles Barkley better anyway because I mean, but there's always some recency bias, as they say. So I kind of like the idea of Charles Barkley. I was just gonna see since you since you're a person with a little bit more age, uh, how much you were gonna push for it in certain areas. But yeah, I like Charles better myself. So Charles Barkley is gonna be officially better than Nate. Uh,
Um, peace, brothers, peace. As far as the best power forward right now, that's Giannis.
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, yeah, he's definitely the best. I mean,
It,
you can't really
it's not
argue
it's
that.
not close either.
Yeah.
But and
Yeah,
I give Giannis the
but
edge over Barkley.
the point I was making earlier is Barkley came up in an era where the power forward position was much more of a featured position. So you had guys who were competitive in that particular position.
Well, yeah, because the game was played inside out. You know, the game was.
Exactly.
Okay, and welcome to the show, brother. Good to have you here.
Peace, brothers. I'm sorry. I'm Coach Marv. Coach Marv, how you doing?
Hey,
Doing
you,
well,
bro.
doing well. You say Coach Maul?
Coach Marv.
Oh, Coach Marv. Okay. Well, pleasure to meet you, Coach. Pleasure to meet you. All right, so we got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar first right now. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Charles Barkley, Nate Archibald, then Carmelo Anthony, then Ray Allen. Now, oh, you know what? But we forgot about Paul Ariza though. Paul Ariza. Where are we gonna stick Paul Ariza in this mix? Because Paul Ariza does have the. I mean, he did get one ring. He got one Finals MVP, four All NBA team selections, and he was a 10-time All Star. That's a pretty good that's a pretty good resume right there. You know, 10-time
Yeah,
All
yes,
Stars,
it
four
is.
All
He's not
NBA
gonna,
and an MVP.
he not gonna
Now,
be of all time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think to be fair, I think you would probably have to put him over Ray. Uh,
Well, he won't be
I
in the
mean,
top
Ray and
20.
Carmelo, without thinking, if you ask me, I don't even think it's a question about Ray and Carmelo.
I don't think he's not gonna be in the top 20 careers of all time.
Well, I mean, we only dealing with the first 10 on the NBA's official list right now, and this is and they dropped them in alphabetical order, so we taking it from one person
Gotcha.
to the next on where they're gonna fit. But the man got an impressive resume, you know. And because my thing is, we are looking at this as these are greats being compared to other greats. This is not anybody. These are just greats being compared to other greats. And not that I know a whole lot about Paul Ariza. I mean, he got an MVP. Not that many people win MVPs, you know, and he was an All NBA player 4 times. Plus, he got the 10 All Star appearances, which I mean, Charles Barkley got 11 All Star appearances. Carmelo, he got 10 All Star appearances. And Ray Allen has 10 All Star appearances. So my thing is, he's matched those two guys for All Star appearances. Plus, he got the 4 All NBA first teams with an MVP as well that neither one of them have. That's why to me, I can't even look at Carmelo and Ray Anthony. I mean Ray Allen or Carmelo Anthony in comparison to him. Now Nate Archibald obviously put a little bit of work into, so not to discount him. But now, when it came to Nate Archibald, he has 3 All NBA first teams and 6 All-Star appearances. So to me, Paul has 4. Nate only has 3 when it comes to being All NBA. Nate has 6 All-Star appearances in comparison to Paul's 10 All-Star appearances. To me, Paul Ariza has to slide right past Nate Archibald. Now,
I mean, Nate did lead the league in scoring and assists at the same time. That's something.
that's saying something, but he only did it once, right?
I mean, but he's.
I mean, I can see the argument of
he's
putting
a smaller player.
Ariza.
Are we gonna take in the the fact that he's probably what 5'10", and you playing like basically a big man.
No, I don't think we're grading on a curve based on height.
Oh, I mean, well, it was a big man's game for real back then, and he was able to be at least dominant in a portion of that for a season as one of the smaller players in the league, and still actually do his job, which was back then to distribute.
Well, I mean, he did. He got his job done. We can't argue that because he's one of the greats. So he has his job done. But based on winning awards, and I know people will say, well, players are different at different times, but you have to win this stuff based on the people that's in the league with you. So I feel the competition is always fair because you only won over the people of your era. Nobody won over somebody that's not of their era. But the league was still a big man's league at the end of the day, really, until Jordan won championships that many times as a shooting guard. Did it really switch from being a big man's league, in my opinion? Everybody was still building through a center if possible. So I looking at that, and like I said, I don't want to do the old timers wrong just because they was playing before I was alive to really see it happening and things like that. I don't want to do them wrong. But 10 All-Star appearances, 4 All-NBA teams, 1 MVP. So at least for 1 year, he was the best player in the league. At least for 1 year. Now, to me, if you compare that with Giannis has 1 Finals MVP, but he has 2 MVPs, plus 2 Defensive Players of the Year, plus 4 All-NBAs and 4 All-Defensive Players. So to me, you can't put him over him.
Yeah, just 1.
Yeah, you can't put him over him. You can't. I mean, which automatically puts him under Kareem. He did more than Melo. He did more than Allen. Nate Archibald, 3 All-NBAs, 6 All-Stars, in comparison to 4 All-NBAs and 10 All-Stars. So to me, it's not even a question. You got to slide him right over Nate Archibald. Well, to me, that makes sense. But
I agree. I agree.
Now the thing is, do you let Charles Barkley slide above him? Do we believe he's better than Charles Barkley, or is Charles Barkley better than him? Or we gonna give Charles Barkley the pass for playing in the Jordan era?
How much value are we putting on winning?
I personally put a lot of value on winning because what my position is, once you make it to professional sports, you're paid to win. I think lower level are you in it to compete, but when you're a professional, they pay you to win. That's my viewpoint.
Yep.
Charles Barkley didn't win. He's a winner, probably overall career-wise, and probably has won more games than he's lost. But he didn't win no championships at all. So to me, he didn't get the job done.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I don't agree with that, but I can see the argument with taking him over Barkley because their careers are similar, and he did get a title. So if we're saying that the title is a tiebreaker, then I can see the argument for that.
Well, no, I said Paul had 1 MVP. Does he have Oh no, he do have one ring. You're right. He does have a ring.
Yeah.
But they both have one MVP.
Nah, he
Right.
doesn't.
Paul has 10 All-Stars compared to Barkley's 11.
He's not an MVP.
Paul is only 4 All NBA, but Barkley had 5 All NBA.
What kind of MVP?
No, he has league MVP.
Yeah.
League
Paul
MVP.
Paul
Ariza is a All-Star MVP.
Well, I'm not counting All-Star MVPs because that's only what you did in the All-Star game, which ain't really about your career.
No, that's the only MVP that he got.
No, I got him listed as him winning the he won a league MVP.
What year?
Let me make sure I got this right. Let me make sure. Ain't nothing wrong with double checking. No, you might be right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm right.
He's a 1952 NBA All-Star Game MVP. I think you're right, brother. I think you're right.
Nah, definitely right on that one.
Yeah, I don't see him with any other 10-time All-Stars, 2-time scoring champion, 1956 champ, 4-time All-Star. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So he has no MVPs.
Okay, so I'll still give him love for the championship in 1956, but who was in the league then? There was no Wilt. There was no Bill Russell yet. No Jerry West yet, right?
Yeah, but are we going to penalize him for when he played?
Yeah, I think we have to judge the player based on the era that they played in.
Yeah, because I mean, there was only 4 teams, 8 teams.
Well, I mean, but
8 teams when Bill and Wilt get there. So there was only 4 teams?
No, I believe they started with 8 teams. The league started with 8 teams. You know what? Yeah, let me Google that. I thought they started with 8 teams.
Then either which way, the dominant players of the league hadn't got there yet. So that makes him a dominant player in the fact that he was able to get the championship with Philly.
Well, you know, and Bill Russell did crack a joke one time. I believe that was about John Stockton saying, you know, back in my day, John Stockton wouldn't even been playing. He'd have been in the stadium watching the better players play. So, you know, smaller number of teams, the harder it is to get something done.
Right.
You know, I gotta look at that too.
I'm not in agreement with Bill Russell.
It's tough. It's a tough comparison. You know, I mean, do I think individually Barkley was probably a better player than him? I would probably think Barkley was better individually. But if you're judging him based on what he accomplished during his day versus that of Barkley, it becomes more unclear.
Yeah, and it says it was 11 teams when the NBA first started. They started with 11 teams.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know if that helps you in any kind of decision making, but
I mean, regardless, what I'm saying is he wasn't, since we now understand that was an all-star MVP that he got, we can't even say that he was the dominant player. He wasn't the best player in the league.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But now we do have Barkley has 5 All NBA selections versus Paul's 4 All NBA selections. Paul has 10 All-Star appearances. Barkley has 11 All-Star appearances.
Barkley has a league MVP.
He got a league MVP, but Paul has 1 ring. So what do we?
And that's what'll put, if we're going off of the modern era of basketball, like, I give kudos to him for winning and all of that. Like I said, Barkley's career, if looked upon, is going to be greater because there's more competition. It's harder to get certain things done. He showed that he could be the best player on the team capable of winning a championship and all of that. which we didn't get to see none of that because obviously he precedes our era, Mr. Ariza.
Okay, so to me, the real difference in that career is do we give it
How
to
much do we
Barkley for
value
being
the
the
winning?
MVP, or do we give it to Ariza for being the champion?
I'm going with the guy who dominated the league.
I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay with taking Barkley over Harris.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that.
Okay, then you know what?
Because
We'll give it to.
Now, if Paul Arizin had a league MVP instead of All-Star MVP, this conversation is completely different.
Barkley probably got two.
Well, yeah. You know what? And I can see that because Barkley did that. MVP does say you was balling on everybody in the league, you know, and
on the Jordan watch.
Jordan watch while Michael Jordan is winning.
Well, I'm not even saying that just because like I said, I'm not gonna penalize
But that
people
means something.
for air. I mean, but if you won, you were beating whoever was also good enough to be in the league during the time you won. You know, that's how I look at it. You still good enough to beat the people who was there.
Winning is a team. That's the team. Paul Arizin didn't average 90 points a game.
No. I mean, I get that. That's why I'm saying I'm cool with him going under Barkley, because Barkley does have an MVP, so which clearly states that he was one of the best players in the league at least for that 1 year. So we gonna give Barkley the edge over Arizin.
And then I'm pretty sure Chuck got a couple top 5 finishes for MVP under his belt too, which that stat wasn't even a part of the NBA when Paul Arizin was playing.
Well, I did actually do some research on that. There's been an MVP every single year in the NBA. It actually went by a different name, you know, but there was an MVP chosen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was, but what I'm saying is that the other stats, like I said, Charles Barkley got 1 league MVP, but he probably was in the running for MVP more than once. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm sure he was. Yeah, I'm sure he was.
He might have finished second or third once or twice. Is what I'm saying.
So now, we giving him the edge, and
Barkley definitely has the edge.
Yeah.
Does Barkley being an original Dream Team mean anything?
Not really, because this is just
okay.
About the
so
NBA.
We just basing this up but that's part of his basketball career.
Yeah, but this is the NBA's greatest players, because you can play in other leagues, but it's about what you did while you were in the NBA. You know, Tony Kukoc did a lot of stuff before he came to the Bulls.
I know.
You know,
I understand that, but I'm not talking about an international player. I'm talking about an American player representing America.
But
I thought we had already decided that Barkley was under Kareem and Giannis. Didn't we decide that?
That is. It's Kareem first so far. Giannis is second so far. Barkley is now third. Paul Ariza is now fourth. Nate Archibald would be fifth. Carmelo Anthony sixth. Ray Allen would be seventh. But yeah, this is only about what they got done while they were in the NBA.
Okay.
Now the next person up was Rick Barry. Rick Barry came in. Now Rick Barry got some. He did some impressive work. Rick Barry is he averaged 23.2 points a game, 6.5 rebounds a game, 5.1 assists per game, 0.5 blocks per game, and 2.0 steals per game. He does have 1 ring. He also was a Rookie of the Year. He was a Finals MVP, a 5-time All-NBA selection, and an 8-time All-Star. Now, with numbers like that, to me, the argument would have to, if you're going to argue it, I say he takes the second spot from Giannis.
You said he was 12 times All-Star, right?
He was he was eight times an All-Star. He got 8 All-Star appearances.
Okay.
Or selections, I should say.
He was a steals champ.
But no, it just says he averaged for a career 2.0 steals a game. That's for a career. That's a high number for steals, though. You know, if you getting 2 steals a game, that's you're gonna be at the top of the league every year with a stat like that.
So what he did in the ABA doesn't count, just in the NBA.
No, it's just NBA.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where I drove the stats from. Just what's considered his NBA stats.
Right.
So with that Rookie of the Year and that Finals MVP, and plus he got the 1 ring, and he's a 5-time All NBA guy. I wouldn't argue he better than Kareem, of course. But when I start looking at Giannis, I think Giannis ain't there yet, because Giannis has 1 Finals MVP, 2 league MVPs, 2 Defensive Players of the Year, 4 All NBA selections, and 4 All Defensive selections. So to me, Giannis has a good record.
You think that Rick Barry should go over Giannis?
To me, that's where the argument would start. Is either Giannis or Rick.
No, sir.
The two Giannis got, it's not even that he just got 2 MVPs. He got them back to back. He puts himself in rarefied air already.
He's already better than Barkley and Carmelo.
Okay, I ain't gonna argue that. So y'all believe Rick should go 3rd then?
He ain't better than the Freak.
Yeah, well, he can't go. Are we saying this? He can't go in front of Giannis.
I would put him over. I would put him over Barkley. I'd put him in between Barkley and Giannis.
Okay, but that's where it would be, because to me, there's not really much to argue about with the other guys, you know. So,
Rick Barry was Larry Bird before Larry Bird.
Absolutely.
He was a great player, but those MVPs mean something.
Oh yeah, I absolutely, I do.
And it's not like he can't go get more. See, he's still in his prime. Giannis.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna put Rick over Charles and leave it at that.
Nah, I wouldn't do that.
But you gonna argue Charles deserves to go over Rick Barry?
You're gonna give now Rick 1.
No, Charles. Whether Charles Barkley was a better or more dominant player than Rick Barry is one thing, but Rick Barry is a more accomplished NBA player than Charles Barkley.
Because he won.
Charles got 1 MVP, 5 All.
Because of his individual statistics and because he won a championship. And he was the MVP of that championship. And he was Rookie of the Year. I mean, Rick Barry had, and I think he was like has or maybe one of the highest free throw shooting percentages ever in history.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, when you look at all around, yeah, I'd have to give Rick Barry the edge over Barkley.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Barkley did great, and I love Barkley growing up. You know what I'm saying? I even use his.
If he had beat Mike in '93, then we're having a different conversation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you got to get the job done, because again, this is professional sports. So just showing up ain't enough.
And he gave him a chance. But like I say, I think Barkley would have won a chip had Richard Dumas not cracked out.
What
about the injury to Ceballos?
I mean, that hurt. But Richard Dumas was going to be an all-star player.
He was playing good in that finals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, he was fantastic in that final. And he was just in his like rookie year or whatever. That's what that team would have beat Houston in either 93 or 94 or 95.
Okay.
I definitely with a healthy Richard Dumas. I believe that.
Okay. I got you. On that.
Okay.
You might have swept them.
All right.
I guess they would have been running because he was, he was out on the break.
Oh yeah.
All right. Now the next player up, and this is the ninth player up of the first 10. We're just doing the first 10 today, and we're gonna continue to compare and contrast this the same way with more players in the future. The next player up is Elgin Baylor. Okay. Now Elgin Baylor, pretty good career. He got no rings, but did average 27.4 points, 13.5 rebounds, 4.3 assists. Now, what hurts him a little bit, the steals and blocks were not recorded as he played. So we don't have anything for him on that level. But now he was a rookie of the year. He was a 10-time All-NBA selection and an 11-time All-Star. So he's still pretty solid. Now, my thinking is, you didn't get a ring
because they was going up against the Celtics.
This is a tough one because Elgin Baylor is the genesis of the modern NBA forward. So it's hard to even really talk about basketball without Elgin Baylor.
That's a fact. He transcended it.
I mean, all of what you see, particularly at that wing spot, that all kind of comes from Elgin Baylor. So I'm inclined to put him over Rick Barry. I know we cited the championship, but Rick Barry, it's hard to imagine professional basketball without Elgin Baylor.
Right, he came first.
I'm impressed that the man. I mean, he averaged almost 28 a game, back then, which was actually kind of surprised me a little bit. And the fact that he was a rookie of the year, 10 times
where he averaged 38.
Yeah,
38 points and like 19 boards, 35 points, 20.
Yeah, it's really a debate with Giannis.
At 6'5".
It's really a debate with Giannis.
I mean, Giannis edges him from a defensive perspective, but I mean, back then they didn't even count blocks and steals. If they would have,
Giannis edges him because he won
MVP
and he's got 2 MVPs.
The MVPs, man.
Even though I understand what you're saying, because yes, everything that basketball is really starts with Elgin Baylor from the wing position.
Yeah,
but NBA accomplishments and
So y'all believe we should still
it's a toss up between him and Giannis, I think.
Okay, well, only one of them gets to have that second spot for now. So, are we gonna give it to Giannis or give it to?
I'm going Giannis still. He won, and he's got 2 MVP. He's got the accolades to go along with his numbers. And I understand. Elgin transcended basketball. He's a transcended player.
But he doesn't have a better career than Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay, we're gonna give it to Elgin then. We're gonna give it to Giannis then.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing at all. I would just say that I don't think Giannis does better in the NBA that Elgin Baylor played in than Elgin Baylor did. In fact, I think the opposite. Like I say, I think it's hard to imagine professional basketball without Elgin Baylor.
It's a fact. You can't take none of that away from him. But he has no MVPs and he has no championship.
And that does mean something. I can't say that. That does mean something. He edged out. Giannis did edge out other people.
This guy was in. I'm just gonna make this argument. This guy was in the league with Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain. Giannis is not in that comparable league. I'm not arguing against what you guys are saying, but we're talking about like foundational basketball players.
He is that.
Right.
Yeah, he is that.
Not this.
So I hear what you're saying. I'm not really disagreeing, but wow. I mean, he was in the league with Jerry West, with Will, with. It's just hard to.
Let me say it like this, if it'll make it a little bit easier. At the end of the day, you got to win against whoever shows up in your era. That's just life. It ain't fair.
And that wasn't going down during the Russell watch.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. Bill Russell played against how many Hall of Fame? With how many Hall of Famers?
Countless.
I mean, even when you talk about like he didn't win, he played with like 7 or 8, maybe 9 guys who were in the Hall of Fame. I mean, nobody else was competing against that.
Listen, you can't. So you want him to feel the way because he had a great general manager?
No, I'm just saying that that to me that's a very tough comparison. I don't think you can just look at this is a weird. I don't think you can just look at the championships. I don't think you can just look at the MVPs or whatever, because that was probably the most competitive time in terms of like the all-time great players.
No problem. Now we switching up the criteria though.
Yeah, like I say, I'm okay if you pick Giannis over Elgin, that's fine, but I'm gonna put an asterisk there. I'm gonna put a mental asterisk note there.
Well, I'm gonna say the eye test does mean something. Accomplishments mean something, but the eye test means something. And when we're able to see things, and this is why I say that I understand the recency bias when it comes to comparing things. You can see something that stats won't necessarily tell you. So I think that should be accounted for. But players I didn't see, I can't really help them out because I didn't see it. So if you think that there's something that needs to be said that wasn't seen, not just you.
I'm just saying when you hear guys like Dr. J and all them, they all talk about Elgin Baylor.
No, this is a fact.
Well, that's because that's who they were with.
I mean, Giannis is doing moves that Elgin Baylor probably brought to professional basketball.
This is all facts.
Certainly Melo's did shit that Elgin Baylor brought to basketball.
Well, I mean, I say this, if Elgin Baylor under Giannis, he's still number 3 right now. Number 3.
Go ahead. I don't want to hold it up any
longer. Yeah. Number 3 is not a bad spot. Not a bad spot.
Yeah, but we're trying to get to the top 10, and we still got a lot of players to go.
He might stay in top 10. It's possible.
Go ahead.
Stay in top 10. Okay, because I know Kareem gonna stay in top 10. I'm pretty sure he gonna stay in top 10. All right, the last person for today is Dave Bing. Okay, last person for today is Dave Bing. Now, Dave Bing, he averaged 20.3 a game, 3.8 rebounds a game, 6.0 assists per game, 0.2 blocks a game, 1.3 steals a game. Now, he did not win a championship, but he did get a Rookie of the Year, which is pretty impressive. He was a 2-time All-NBA selection and a 7-time All-Star. So that's a pretty good resume as well. Now, to me, I think a Rookie of the Year is pretty good because you can only win it one time. There's only one time you can win a Rookie of the Year. And Charles Barkley didn't win one. Now, when you look at,
but who did win that Rookie of the Year? from Barkley. What was that guy's name?
Oh, that was MJ. That was MJ. Remember
So I mean, you know,
You,
that's where
you
they get tough.
out the wrong year, bro.
Well,
Yeah,
that's why I say
exactly.
the rookie of the year means something because you only get one chance to win it. You know, it's the most exclusive award right now because you can only win it once. You can only win
That's
it your
true.
rookie year. So
That's true.
so to me it counts for a lot. I mean, not saying the most important award to me is Finals MVP because it means you was the man when your team was winning the championship. That's what they pay you to do in the first place. But you only get to win that rookie of the year one time. Now, again, he had 2 All NBA selections, which is pretty good. 7 All-Star selections, which is also pretty good. But if we look at what we got right now, I mean, to me, it should be Kareem. It shouldn't even be in question at this particular point.
I don't
Now, do
think
we
the
argue that Giannis is better?
Top 5.
Well, do we
Hey,
have an
what's the
argument
order-
that Giannis is
what's the
better?
order that it is right now?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
The order that how do we have the order so far?
Right there as it's
Yeah,
on the
we
screen.
got it on the screen.
Yeah, right there on the screen. We got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is first right now. Giannis Antetokounmpo is second. We got Elgin Baylor at third. We got Rick Barry fourth. Charles Barkley fifth. Paul Ariza sixth. Nate Archibald 7. Carmelo Anthony is 8th. Ray Allen is 9. And we're gonna put in Dave Bing, and that'll round out this show with the first 10. And we'll be back to count the other 65 that's still left. Now the question is, when we talk about Dave Bing, are we gonna even talk about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Because I don't think he even needs to be discussed right now. Right, we
You know that he's not going to be part of the conversation with
right. So we just
anybody that
passed
has
Kareem.
MVP, a transcended player. Yeah, he could go right there at 10 where he was coming in at anyway.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I put him in between Ray and Melo, but that would be about it.
I'm not putting him in front of Melo or Ray.
Not in front of Melo or Ray.
I might put him in front of Ray. I don't know if Ray has a better career than Dave Bing if Ray does not get traded to Boston.
The difference is the championship. Dave Bing led the league.
Yeah. I mean, Dave Bing was a fantastic player. And he I think he stayed with Detroit like his whole career. So and Detroit was never really anything in the NBA as an organization until basically Isaiah.
Well, now my thing is this: when Dave Bing, Ray Allen, Carmelo Anthony, none of them got rings. They all came up blank. Okay.
Well, Ray Allen has rings, but
I mean, Ray Allen has rings.
But he wasn't the best player on those teams with those rings.
I think that's a torso.
Okay, so but now Dave Bing
Ray
got a
Allen
record
is an all time, but until recently, Ray Allen was a record holder.
Okay, but Dave Bing has a rookie.
Yeah, but that's a new record. I mean, when Dave Bing played, there wasn't a 3-point line.
Well, I'm saying Dave Bing got a rookie of the year. Melo didn't, and Ray Allen didn't. Now that says I was the best rookie at least. And Dave Bing does have 2 All NBA selections, and neither one of those guys have All NBA selections. Now they both have 10 All-Star selections, but Dave Bing got 7 All-Star selections. So he's 3 shy, but he does have 2 All NBAs plus a rookie of the year.
I would definitely put Dave Bing over Ray Allen.
He has more.
Probably not Melo, but definitely over Ray Allen.
He has more All NBAs than Ray Allen.
Ray Allen has no All NBAs. Now, I grant they was hard
Yeah,
to get with
I
Ray
think,
Allen's family
look, I
as
like
well.
Ray Allen, but I think Ray Allen is kind of inflated because of
The
the
3-point
rings.
shot.
The ring,
Yeah, and the 3-point shot, the rings and the 3-point shot. And if he were the best player in the prime of his career, winning those championships, then he'd be in a very different position.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I would make that say I would argue that differently as well. But my thing is, he wasn't. All he has is 10 All-Star appearances. That's his resume, 10 All-Star appearances, and that's Carmelo Anthony's resume, 10 All-Star appearances. I thought Carmelo Anthony was gonna have a much
Scoring
better
champ.
career than what he did.
and a scoring champ.
Yeah, but a scoring champ ain't really making you. You just the guy that happened to score the most that year. You didn't. It doesn't mean you did anything. Because
That
if you
means
win a
I
scoring
score more
championship, not
points
even make the
than
playoffs.
everybody else.
Well, I'm
Because
saying
Ray Allen, because what we have here between Ray Allen, Melo, and Bing, they all Ray Allen won, right? But Bing and Melo have the scoring championship.
well, to me, the scoring championships don't mean nothing. Use the guy that happened
I
to
would
score.
I would definitely put Bing over Ray Allen, probably not Melo.
I mean, rookie of the year and 2 All NBA selections. Neither one of those guys have that. Now they got 3 more All-Star appearances, but he got a rookie of the year and 2 All NBA selections. So he got.
So you're saying you would put Dave Bing over Melo?
I would have to. I mean,
All right, I'll relent to that. I'll relent to that. I'll go. I'll sign off on that.
yeah, I mean, showing your individual game, the All NBA selection is an individual award at the end of the day, and so is that rookie of the year. Those are individual awards. Now when I look at Nate Archibald, he got 3 All NBA selections and he got 6 All-Star appearances. So I can see why Nate. I'm sorry, what was that?
Is Dave Bing has 3 All NBA selections too?
I got him down for 2 All NBA selections. I have to double check, but you say you got 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, if he got 3 All NBA selections, 7 All-Stars, and a rookie of the year, I really can't make no argument that Melo is better.
Yeah, you can put him over Melo.
Nate Archibald has something. See, when you run up against Nate Archibald, you have some kind of argument because Nate Archibald has the All NBA selections as well. Plus, he has the All-Star appearances. So he got what they got. He only got 6 All-Star appearances, but he got 3 All NBA selections. So if you leave Nate Archibald where he is, that I can explain that. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. But Dave Bing, as much because I like Melo. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I like Melo. I thought he was gonna be more than what he was when he came in the league, and I was having all kinds of arguments with people talking about LeBron was better than Melo. So
I'm going to continue to defend Melo. I think Melo was a victim of circumstance. I think Carl sucks as a coach, and I think had he had a better coach in Denver, they might have gotten a chip off of Kobe. They might have.
That's that's a rough thing to say about George.
No, Denver had a loaded team. Carl is not a fucking good coach. He's one of the most overrated coaches ever in the NBA.
That's saying a lot there, bro. I mean, I can't really argue with you because I used to be wondering why everybody was saying he was so great and he didn't win either. I was actually thinking that it's for several different years that I was paying attention to George Karl. And I was like, people got a whole lot of respect for this guy, but he don't win nothing, And I kind of understand him a little bit when he was a coach of Seattle and came across the Bulls. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're still supposed to win. You're professional. You know what I'm saying? I
He
don't.
was one of those coaches that was, because of style of play, was going to win a lot of games. But when it came to actually winning and really coaching the team in a way to win a championship, no, he was never going to do that. Never.
Well, you know, you get so much opportunity. It's your job to make something happen when you have those opportunities. That's all I can really say. You know, we all get opportunities. You got to make the
In
best
fact,
of
he was probably the biggest reason why Melo ended up leaving Denver. And Denver team was deep. It was stacked.
It was over.
That team should have won it. With a good coach, that team would have won a title.
it. That's a dagger right there. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's gonna round it out for this episode. But I'll be doing more episodes on this very shortly in the future, possibly in the next day or two. And we're gonna
Put an
bring in the
asterisk
next
next
team.
to Elgin Baylor. No, I'm kidding. I just, it kind of hurt me to see Elgin, in that slot. But go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Hey, he's a top 3 player right now. He's a top 3.
Right.
This is the 75 best players in the NBA. So he's still a top 3 player in the NBA right now. So how bad is being third best overall, at least for now?
Oh man, Uber, you're gonna be mad when he's moving further and further away.
That's why I'm kind of like, damn, they already got him at third. There's just no way he's gonna survive.
Man, I'm trying to get that man his flowers. That's what I'm
There's
trying to get his flowers.
There's no way he's gonna survive the next 65. But go ahead.
Well, the next show, y'all, we gonna bring in the next 10. Like I said, another episode will be coming up very soon, possibly even today or tomorrow on this particular thing. So I hope as y'all see this, y'all join us and root for who you want to, because I am looking at the comments. If y'all rooting for a particular person, I'm trying to pay some kind of attention to it. But officially, we've now made, for right now, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the top. We got Giannis Anta the Compo following him up. Got Elgin Baylor right after, Rick Barry after that, Charles Barkley, then Paul Ariza, Nate Archibald, Dave Bean, Carmelo Anthony, and Ray Allen. So that's what it is for now, y'all. So we will see y'all next time around. You have been pulled into the black dimension. Hopefully you'll find your way out. And I'll see y'all next time around.
All right,
Great
fellas.
show. You guys have a good evening.